Hey everybody, we're about to get started here in just a moment. A few things that you might want to do. There's a playlist if you would like to find my playlist on Apple Music. I'm Yogi DLT is my handle on Apple Music and on Instagram. So you can find all my playlists there. You can also choose between an upbeat or a chill playlist. So I have two options for you, just kind of depending on what you want. This is a mixture of both today. So kind of choice is yours depending on how you feel. And then if you would like to grab some props, the only things you're gonna really need today are a pillow. You probably want a pillow. I grabbed a long lengthwise pillow personally for me, just to go along the length of my spine because I had one on my sofa. But if you don't have one, don't stress. Any kind of pillow will do, and a blanket. We're gonna kind of make this a mixture of yin and vinyasa. Gonna really start to bring in elements of transitioning from winter into summer. So we're gonna get started in just a couple minutes. Taking your time to get set up with whatever you might need for your own practice as well. I'm gonna start up against a wall, so you might wanna choose a spot near a wall as well. That could be helpful. Gonna get this camera set up as well to be in the right position. So hopefully it doesn't cut off my head while we're practicing so you can see all the way to the top. All right, yogis, so grab anything that you might want for practice. Again, you might want a blanket. You might want a pillow, some water, maybe put on one of these playlists. We'll get started in just a moment. Take a couple minutes to get set up. All right, yogis. Hello, I am Christine. I'm about to lead you through your spring flow. My Instagram and Apple Music handle is Yogi DLT. Um, you have two choices for a playlist. You can choose the more upbeat one or the more chill one, your choice. Kind of gonna move through a little bit of both upbeat and chill. We're gonna start off with a little bit more kind of slow grounding yin like practice to find our balance of our kapha energy. Kapha is our winter energy, and I'll describe that a little bit more in dosha. And then moving in through spring into summer, we have our pitta fiery transition of summer kind of happening and encroaching on us. So right now we kind of have this mixture of chill and upbeat kind of combining. So you have a choice of which playlist. Which one do you lean towards more today? You choose. Kind of like a choose your own adventure. And then let's get started here. You will probably want a blanket. I'll move these blocks. You'll probably want a blanket and a pillow. I just grabbed a pillow from my sofa. This one's a long one, pretty convenient for me right now. But if you don't have a long pillow like that, don't stress. You're going to be just fine. All right, yogis. I also am against a wall. You might want to be near a wall. We're going to be doing some legs to wall pose and things like that to really ground our energy down. So if you want to be near a wall, set yourself up over at the wall. All right, with that all being said, let's get started. So, today we are balancing our Pitta energy and our Kapha energy. So, our summer and our winter energy. There are like three seasons in Ayurveda, the sister science of yoga. And Kapha is that really slow, heavy, winter, grounded feeling and energy. And then Pitta is that fiery, summer, fast pace energy. So I like to think of spring as that transition, that movement of Kapha into Pitta. And I notice in myself, I have tendencies of both Kapha and Pitta doshas in me, meaning that you have a little bit of that energy within you. And doshas are your makeup. And there's three choices. You have kapha, you have pitta, and you have vata. And the fire of pitta always makes me want to go out really easily. But then there's also this kapha energy that kind of pulls me in the winter to be a little bit slower, a little bit more grounded, a little bit heavier. And that kapha energy also kind of plays into effect in this spring transition, which is probably why I love spring so much. So we're gonna work on balancing both of those, really embracing both. We're gonna start off with our very heavy kapha energy a little bit, start off really slow and grounded, and then we're gonna kind of pick up the fire or the pace a little bit more with our pita. So a little balance, a little wall pose. Now I like to have the blanket at the base by the wall because it gives my tailbone, my low back, and my booty a little bit more cushion. I have tile floors in my house. You might have hardwood floors. And so this again, nice to add that little extra touch. Now, if you want, you can lay that pillow along the length of your spine as well. Your booty real in, but to set it up, it's a little funky. Once your legs are up against the wall, it doesn't matter what wall you're using. I'm using the pantry door in my kitchen. It tends to be one of the only empty walls I have to kick my legs up easily in my house. Doors are really nice for that because usually they're unobstructed. So you might use a door. It doesn't have to be a wall itself. And then just begin to notice where you feel most comfortable. Now, your booty might be further away from the wall, or it might be a little bit closer to the wall. It doesn't really make a difference as long as your legs feel comfortable just hanging out up in the air. And then as you find some stillness, notice where your arms want to rest. Today, I'd like to receive some energy as we move into this more energetic season, as we bring new life, right, into plants and animal life and all around us. It's a really challenging time as well. So, right now, I want to receive some good energy. So, I'm just going to face my palms up. If you feel a little anxious this morning, a little bit too wound up, you might just place the palms down for some grounding, or you might bring them to your belly, or one hand to heart, one hand to belly, just to seal in some connection and remind yourself that you are safe. Now, wherever you end up at, whatever shape you take on here, closing the eyes and just settling in for stillness, to wiggle, to move, just letting yourself be alone with your breath and your body and your mind. Notice that breath. Can you stoke it up a little bit more? Can you start to bring the breath a little bit deeper to the lowest part of your belly? Can you belly fill up like a balloon to its fullest extension and then open up the mouth? Let all that air go. All that energy that might not be serving you anymore. It could be that heavy kapha energy that's kind of holding you back, making you feel a little lethargic, a little bit unmotivated or slower or really grounded. Maybe you need to let go of that energy. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you've got a lot of fiery pita energy in you that's just making you feel anxious a little bit. Go, go, go. And you can let that go on the sides. The beauty of our practice is each person's practice is completely unique. Just because you're practicing next to somebody doesn't mean that they're having the same experience as you are. Everyone's experience on the mat is completely different. And we're going to really embrace that because you might feel more towards one of these doshas more than the other, one of these seasons a little bit more than the other within your own body and within the elements that surround you. We're stuck at home right now. And so that kapha energy might be taking root a little bit more. Or you might be feeling the pull to get outside and go and that need to just keep doing. And you might be letting that go a little bit more, letting that loosen up. Honor, acknowledge where you're at, knowing that nothing is wrong or bad here. Letting go of labels and just accepting where you are at today. You might notice that as we remain here with our legs against the wall, that your toes feel a little tingly. You're just really letting any of feeling a little bit of a stay in a pose compared to a traditional vinyasa class. And when you hold poses a lot longer, you get that chance to get deeper into the muscles without choosing an extreme posture. So normally, if we're sitting on upright in a yoga class and our legs are against the mat, this wouldn't feel like a stretch until we fold forward and reach towards our toes. But in this case, we've been here for a while, so we are starting to feel that stretch into the muscle, into the deeper tissue. It might be subtle, but it's there. Now let's grow some new life into our bodies, into our practice welcoming in this spring. You might keep the pillow here, you might remove it. I personally am going, I want to do some tree pose, but this is going to be tree pose against the wall. So we're going to take our right foot and we're going to bend it so it's on the inside of our left thigh. You might have that pose. So our foot's really just pressing against the wall. That right foot as you bend into that right knee. You could have your foot to the inside of the calf if that feels better, or the inside of your thigh. I personally feel this posture to be a little bit better when my foot's to the inside of the calf. Now, this is different than my standing tree pose in a vinyasa practice where I like to put my foot to the inside of my thigh. You might notice that just because you've flipped directions and changed it up a little bit, that you need differently learn a little bit more about your body, this posture again. You can really just kind of fall into that intention and to that intention to be present in your own body by learning more and gathering information, but also you're trusting your intuition, that gut instinct that tells you this feels better. This is what I need in this variation of the pose. And again, noticing your breath. If your mind starts to tell you things like, my house should be cleaner if I'm home all the time, or I should be working out on my hands. But if you notice those judgments creeping into your mind, let them go. Let that voice fade out as you let your breath overpower it. Let your breath be louder to drown out that voice. That voice of judgment, let it go, suspend it as you really just stay here with your breath. Whatever's going on for you, be kind and compassionate. We are not robots, we are humans, and we're doing the best we can. If we're not working out every day or multiple times a day or whatever it is, right? You're feeling that you should be doing, let that should go. Don't should yourself, right? Let yourself just be present. Let yourself be wherever you are at this moment. That's what being present is really just leaning into whatever feelings you've got. Let's simply switch out the side. So we're going to extend the right foot up and bend into that left leg. Now, again, the foot might come more to the inside of the thigh, lower down towards the sit bones a little bit more, or it might be foot to inside of calf. For me, this is the one that always feels a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more gentle on my knee. That might be why I like it. But also, I feel a little bit more stretch on my inner thigh, not going so extreme. It tends to be a little bit more subtle this way, and I kind of like that. It also gets a little bit of activation and stretch through my glutes. Now you might bring hands to belly again or palms facing up. Staying here, staying present. And again, all you need to do to stay present is to just focus on your breath. Any distracting thoughts that start to bubble up, thank them and dismiss them. If you have anxiety that's really coming in waves, right? Just overwhelming waves at you. I know that I struggle with this, and I know a lot of people struggle with this. Saying thank you to your anxiety. Like, I understand that you're trying to protect me from something right now, but I'm actually safe. I'm just doing some yoga right now and I'm taking care of me. So, thank you for trying to warn me of something, but I am okay right now. And by acknowledging your anxiety and thanking it, you can really let it go and just let it leave you alone for your practice. Starting off with a slower practice to really bring in that kapha energy to really welcome it. Quality of breath. Focusing on each inhale and exhale, and notice if you can draw them out to be about the same length, keeping that energy balanced. By welcoming in this balance of kapha and pitta energy, we are reestablishing an equilibrium in the spring, right? We're trying to find that shift in energy. And spring is a really nice time to try to find that balance. As we find our equilibrium, we find that homeostasis with our neural body, that space where we feel like things are in balance or as best as they can be in balance moment in the situation that we're in, so we can find some growth within ourselves. When we feel balanced, we can allow ourselves to grow a little bit more. When we find that balance, we can push ourselves a little bit out of our safety net, a little bit into some depth, unknown depths, and challenge ourselves. Two more rounds of breath in this tree pose on the left side. Here's a last inhale. Exhale, simply draw the knees in towards your chest. Your feet might still be pressing against the wall, or you might be able to hug them in a little bit more than that. I give my toes a little wiggle, get the blood back into them, a little wiggle into the ankles. The feet flex and point them. And then we're going to push ourselves a little bit away from the wall. And with those knees in towards our chest, let's rock either to our right or left side. Fetal position, arm is a pillow. Top palm makes connection with the earth. It's our kickstand. It's also that point of grounding. Talk about that grounding and beautiful. And she's moving from Kapha into Pitta. She's moving from that cold, grounded winter energy where we want to feel bundled up and safe and sheltered into that light, fiery summer, fast pace of life. Eyes, maybe think about drawing some of that kapha energy into your palm if you need it, or it could be the opposite. Letting go of that grounded, slower winter energy from your palm and letting the earth just reabsorb it. Eyes closed. Press your way up to a comfortable cross-legged seat. I'm going to face towards you guys so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but palms come into heart center. If you would like to set an intention here, this is a great place, some sort of purpose behind your breath for your practice. If you would like to go along with our class intention as well, the intention of inspiring new growth. Knowing that to grow, we have to face our fears. This doesn't grow in the sky, out to the sides, crawling along the ground. That is unfamiliar, uncharted. Our focus of our practice, our intention of our practice today is to go into those uncharted spaces so we can grow even more, seeking out new knowledge for ourselves, understanding of our physical body, our mind. I my of our feet and we're going to bring them together for a butterfly pose. For my butterfly pose, as I am going to use my a longer heels could be a little bit closer in. Now I'm going to fold over my blanket and my pillow to create a little prop for my head as I just start to settle in and find that space that feels good to find a moment in this butterfly pose. Now we're not going to hold this as long as we held our legs against the wall pose. You might bring one ear down, you might bring another ear down or switch it up at some point, but I personally like to bring my chin down and my nose down. And just as my nose and my chin settle in, I just let myself weigh heavy. I let the neck grow long and relax, allowing the spine just to completely round forward. Just about 3 more rounds of breath here, yogis. Last big breath in and big breath out. When you're ready, start to lift back up. Let's extend our legs out long. Let's lay the blanket and the pillow down onto our legs as we just find a gentle fold forward. Now, it might be chin down, it might be an ear down. You might fold your pillow and your blanket a little bit more to provide a little bit more rest and support. Again, finding that same feeling in the spine, the whole length, all the way up to the cervical spine, the neck. Let it relax and round. Notice how when you flex your toes a little bit more, you activate the back of your calves and hamstrings to stretch. Just 2 more rounds of breath here. We're going to revisit this towards the end of our practice, a few of these postures. So, letting go of attachment, right? Non attachment is one of our So non-attachment is a niyama, a thing that we try to remember as yogis. It's easy to get attached to a pose, last inhale, and exhale to find meaning and value in a posture. Oh, I can do a handstand or I can do crow pose and add some value to that. But non attachment means that pose is just supposed to serve you as it does without that attachment, that meaning, that value that we sometimes start to apply without even realizing it. All right, yogis, let's draw our knees in towards our chest. From here, we're going to take our hands behind the backs of our thighs. Make sure you have a little bit of space of mat behind you. We're going to do a little trust fall rock with ourselves up to a tabletop. So just a little rock, woo, forwards and backwards. I'm going to do it 3 times because 3 seems like a good number, but it's up to you. We're going to roll forward to our tabletop. From our tabletop, let's take a cat-cow or 2. Just really start to welcome in a little bit more movement on the inhale. Lifting tailbone and gaze up, let the belly fall. On the exhale, round and hollow out, gaze up and in towards the navel. Inhale, pulling the heart through, lifting tailbone and gaze up. Exhale, round, press the earth away with your palms. Keep moving with your own breath. This is a nice way to seal in our movement and breath connection for our practice. You might stay in a posture a little bit longer, like maybe this cat pose feels good to stretch your spine a little bit left and right. Maybe you want to stretch the wrists to prepare for your practice. It's kind of your choice here, yogi. So you take on what you need to do in order to prepare to flow a little bit as we welcome in some more movement, moving a little bit more into that pitta energy away from the kapha. We're still pretty grounded here, though. We're really touching and grounded to the earth. So it's just a nice way to welcome in a little bit more movement. One more round of inhale. And one more round of an exhale. Now, holding this exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips high, down dog. Settling those heels a little bit. You might pedal it out into one foot and then the other. You might shake your head a little bit, yes and no, to remind the neck to relax. You might bend into both knees a little bit more to lift that tailbone that much higher to find some length. Heels can eventually start melting down a bit more. Heart presses back towards the thighs to lift your tailbone up. Scooping navel in towards spine, find that lift. Pressing down through every part of your palm. Nothing is lifted. There's no air, gaps of air underneath any parts of the palms, and the fingers are spread really wide. Taking a full inhale, let's roll forward like we're a wave into our high plank pose. So let the hips kind of lead the way. Exhale, just bend the knees and then let them hover for a moment. This is where we're going to start. Now let the tailbone start to press back towards the heels and then up towards the sky. So we're moving in this wave-like motion. So again, let your booty push everything forward as you roll forward, high plank pose. Bend those knees, hips sink back towards the heels, and then lift up towards the sky. Find that nice wave-like movement. Make it a little bit more fluid like you. So on the inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, hips go high, down dog. Try to take that 2 more times at your own pace. So inhale, roll forward. Exhale, let everything go back. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, like that wave, make your way back. Taking some time to lift to the tippy toes. We're going to take some tiny tiptoe steps with straight legs and palms completely glued down. Now, this is going to feel easier at the beginning, but as you move towards the top of the mat, towards the end, it's going to feel really difficult, if not darn near impossible, to get those toes all the way up there. Take a ragdoll, grab for opposite elbows, bend into both knees, sway left and right, bob up and down. Anything you need to find some release for the hamstrings, for the hip, the spine. This is a great stretch for the low back and the spine. I love it, but I also feel it in my hips, especially as I sway left and right. Sometimes I feel it more in one hamstring than the other as you lean towards one side, observing, gathering this information, again, growing. Release your fingers down to your shins or to the earth, either one. Inhale, halfway, lift mindful of the wall, though. Exhale, forward fold. Awesome, yogis. Inhale, root and rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Cactus the heart open, big back bend. Look up, but squeeze your glutes forward to protect your low back. Awesome. Inhale, reach those arms up towards the sky. Now, from here, interlace your hands to a steeple grip. That just means it's just your pointer fingers that are facing up. Everything else is interlaced. So with the steeple grip, you're wrapping your biceps towards your ears. Sweep your fingers up a little bit higher towards the sky. Your feet are firmly rooted down, side by side, parallel. Start to reach up and over to the right. So I'll move over to the right. Press your hips over to the left. Feel that stretch without collapsing. So notice if you're collapsing, you might want to come out of it a little bit more and just reach up and out rather than just over. Keep that right foot completely rooted down. Inhale, come back through center, over to the left. Press your hips a little bit to the right. Again, instead of collapsing into that side, maybe you have to back out of it a little bit more, or maybe you can reach a little bit away and over to the left. Engage your core. Keep it strong here. Keep your glutes and legs active. One more inhale. Exhale, back through center. Inhale, look up, reach long. Exhale, little back bend. Draw a line along the ceiling. Just something little. Squeeze and engage those glutes. Exhale, come back up. Nice. Release your hands. Swan dive, forward fold. From your forward fold, you can take peace fingers around big toes or a Pada Hastasana hands to feet pose. Slide your hands underneath the soles of your feet. So if you have Pada Hastasana, your palms are facing up towards the soles of your feet. You have that connection there. I like to bend my knees to begin with and bend my elbows. And then I start to work on maybe working towards a little bit straighter legs, mindful not to lock the legs out. I personally also like to wiggle the toes. That feels also nice for my wrists. You choose. You could have peace fingers around big toes here. And again, maybe working with bent knees to begin with, and then working towards straightening the legs. Now, you're not pulling with your arms at all right here. So your arms should not be really that active. It should be that your core, your tummy, your torso is actually bowing you a little bit further down. Working your fingers to the shins for the inhale. Exhale, fold. Now, as you fold, we're going to step our right foot back and we're going to keep our left foot forward. So, stepping our right foot back, keep the left foot forward. I know this is a little bit different than we normally do, but that's okay. We're going to mix it up a little bit to change up our energy, to change up our focus and grow. Inhale, peel that left arm up towards the sky. A nice, easy twist. Good. Looking up at that top thumb, firm up that back right quad a little bit more. Pull that left hip point towards the back of the mat. Reach that right arm forward, maybe a little bit behind your right head or right ear. Shouldn't say right head, we only have one head, but right side of your head, right ear. And then start to swim this arm forward towards the left side of your mat and then towards the back. Just getting some motion for the arm, reach it up and over. This time, spiral the pinky down. Gaze towards that left big toe. Good. Let's plant our left hand down, straighten out our left leg, extended pyramid pose, breathing into that hamstring. Bowing forward. 2 full rounds of breath in and breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, a micro bend into this back right knee and the front left knee. Walk your hands forward, standing L, balance on that left foot. Keeping belly and thigh connection best you can here. You can bend as needed. You can bring blocks or props underneath the hands. Cookbooks are an awesome substitute for blocks. Give that head a little shake, your foot low lunge. Now, as your palms stay really planted, kick that left foot high to the sky. Bend your knee, stack your hip. Draw a knee circle or two in one direction, and then in the other. Mixing it up. Come back, three-legged dog. Draw knee in towards nose. Down. We're going to pick up our left foot and pivot it back behind us as we seal down our right foot. Our left palm is still planted, so make sure you move that hand underneath your shoulder as you hover that right foot off of the earth. And then maybe start to kick that heel in towards your booty. You possibly could grab for that right foot to go for the quad stretch, bowing your heart over towards the right side of your mat and stretching into that right shoulder. Few more rounds of inhales and exhales without attachment, right? Letting go. Simply release that right foot to come back to your supported side plank. And then lower your toes, lift your hips high, back to that down dog. Oh yeah, we've been here before. Give your head a little shake, yes and no. On the lift high into the tippy toes, take those tiny tiptoe steps forward, moving a little bit faster, possibly this time as we add some energy into our practice, a little bit more fire. From here, take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root and rise, reach up. Good, this time we're gonna grab onto the left wrist, stretch up and over to the right. Inhale, come back through center, grab onto the right wrist, stretch up and over to the left. Inhale, back through center, cactus. Open up your heart. Interlace your hands to your low back, knuckles pull down. Look up. Squeeze the glutes forward, protect the low back. Exhale, keep this bind. Bend into the knees, forward fold. Bend into those knees generously as much as you need to. Now, your knuckles might stay rooted to your low back, or you might be able to lift them up a little bit higher to hover away. On the next inhale, halfway lift, let the knuckles pull towards the back of the room. Exhale, forward fold, release the bind. Okay, easy twist, so our left leg to the sky. Good. Now as you reach your right fingertips a little bit higher towards the sky, can you firm up this left quad? As you firm up your quad, you might notice that the right hip point pulls a little bit further towards the back of the room, creating a deeper twist. Opening up into the shoulder, the front line of your heart. Let that hand swim towards the back of the mat. And then reach a little bit overhead. Nice. Let's go back towards the back of the mat. Swimming around, pinky faces down. Exhale, lower that right hand down, straighten out your right leg, extended pyramid pose. You can have your hands to blocks, bowing over that right leg. Now your left heel is lifted. This is a very long pyramid stance. That's why it's extended. The T-band, the hamstrings, all the good stuff that we need to stretch into more. Calm breath in. Exhale, micro bend that back left knee, bend this front right knee. Let's launch up, standing L. Bring your hands forward a little bit. Bowing over that right leg, belly and thigh connection once again. Letting your head hang heavy, maybe give it a little shake, yes and no. Remind the in there, guys. And so sometimes I have to really give my head a lot of movement to finally feel like, oh, that's what it feels like when my neck is more relaxed. I didn't even know I was holding so much tension there. Last inhale in the standing L. Make sure your hands are framing the front of your foot kind of towards the toes. Exhale, lower those left toes down. Palms are planted really firmly, low lunge. Kick your right leg high. Draw some knee circles in one direction and in the other direction. Find some funky movement. Open up into that hip flexor and then back into your three-legged dog. Exhale, draw knee in towards nose or third eye space. Inhale, kick it up. Exhale, draw knee in towards nose and then lower your shin down. Pivot that right behind you like a kickstand. Seal down the left foot. Make sure that right wrist is underneath your right shoulder and then the left arm peels up. Now from here, hover that left foot off the earth. Really strong and active into the core. The foot is flexed and active. You could just stay right here, or you can bend that left heel in towards your glute. Left hand reaches for the left foot. You might let that heart bow over towards the left side of the mat, opening up into that left shoulder. Really kicking into that foot like you're in dancer's pose, but sideways. It's like a sideways dancer. Another full inhale. Exhale, gently release that left foot. Dog. If you notice, we haven't even taken a single vinyasa, so I'm going to let you take one here if you want. It's optional. Inhale, roll forward like that wave. Option from here just to bend the knees and lift the hips back up, or take a vinyasa. Maybe you want cobra, maybe you want up dog, maybe you want none of those, and you just want to go straight back to your down dog. Your choice. Make this practice yours. As we start to move a little bit faster, inhale, sweeping the right leg high towards the sky. Exhale, draw knee in towards nose or third eye space. Inhale, kick it up. One more time, knee draws in towards nose, flex the foot. Draw that knee in towards your heart a little bit more, and then create a little bit of space to step it through. Awesome job, yogis. Create that easy twist. Peel that right arm open towards the sky. Again, that arm reaches towards the back of the mat first, and then spiral pinky down, thumb facing up. We're back to gazing down at our right toe like we were earlier. Can you start to lighten up off the left fingertips? And then reach it back behind you. Hover your belly over that top right thigh best you can. We're going to call this running man. You're lifting. Take another full inhale. Exhale, sweep that right arm back. Pinkies in, thumbs out. Your palms face down. Lightning warrior. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Draw them down the back. Inhale, rise up. High crescent lunge. Woo. If you lose your balance, it's all good. For some reason, every time my hair falls in front of my face, I lose the balance. Look up. Cactus your heart open. Inhale, sweep your arms up high. Just like we did earlier, grab onto that left wrist, stretch up and over. Awesome job, yogis. Come back through center. Palms come into heart center. Drawing your thumbs into your heart center. Stay strong. Lean forward a little bit. And then prayer twist, tucking that left elbow to the right thigh or knee. Gazing up and past that right shoulder if you can, if it feels all right for the neck. Challenging the balance. Scoop that navel up and in towards the spine to find a little bit more twist. When you're ready, come back to that low prayer lunge with your heart reaching forward, hovering over that right thigh. Swim your arms back behind you. Now, this is where I need a little bit more space away from the wall. We're going to launch up to warrior 3 to stand on our right foot with our airplane arms. Woo. Use the wall if you need it. Be kind about your balance. It varies day to day. And honestly, it doesn't mean much. It just depends on how much energy we have, how awake we are, how much sleep we got. Food, exactly what it is. Exhale, gently lower your hands down back to that standing L. Oh yeah, we've been here before. Now, tent up onto those fingertips. Add a little bit more lightness to your fingers. And then we're going to take your left knee as we kick that left heel in towards our booty like a little flamingo leg. We're going to tap that left knee behind our right calf as we generously bend the right knee. Good, we're going to find a little knee to calf tap and then kick it back. Again, knee to calf tap. Kick it back. This time, bring hands in the heart center, hover, and then find that calf tap. One more of those. Oh yeah, we're working into the glute, working into the quad. You got it all. Kick back. And then standing L. Sweet. Slide. You have your pinky toe to pinky toe alignment, and then you just fold forward. High IT band. You might be feeling it to the outside of your thigh. That's your IT band. Awesome work, yogis. Taking another full inhale. Exhale, kick that left foot up. Step it down, low lunge. Take any vinyasa you want. Maybe it's one-legged. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's no vinyasa. What works for you today? Awesome job, yogis. You've got this. Take a deep breath in. Reset, big sigh out. Inhale, sweep that left leg high. Exhale, draw knee in towards nose. Inhale, kick it up. One more time, knee draws in towards nose or third eye space. Flex the foot. Now really draw that knee a little bit closer towards the chest, gazing forward, and then take a step forward. Whew, aren't we glad that's done? Peel the left arm up towards the sky, easy twist. Keep it long overhead, pinky draws down, thumb faces up. Now lighten up on those right fingertips as you reach that hand towards the back of the room. Thumb facing down, pinky up on you can. One more inhale. Exhale, swim that left arm back. Find that lightning warrior. Pinkies in, thumbs out. Palms face the earth. As the palms face the earth, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Proud back here, engaging even into the triceps. One more inhale. Exhale, high crescent lunge. Oh, yeah. We're here. Cactus your heart open, take a back bend. Inhale, reach your arms up, grab for that right wrist, stretch up and over to the left. Come back. And a little bit off today. Maybe you gaze down towards the earth. Draw that navel up and in to twist a little bit deeper. Exhale, unwind back to this low lunge. And again, I always seem to be too close to this wall, so I gotta scoot back a little bit. But reaching your hands back behind you, find that lightning warrior. Launch up, warrior 3 to stand on that left foot only. Now, if you fall out of it, falling's how you find your balance. Your hands will catch you, your toes will catch you pretty much every single time. Another full inhale. Stay present for the exhale. One last inhale. Exhale, lower your hands down to the earth, standing L. Oh yeah, we've been here before. Tent up onto those fingertips, add some lightness to this posture. And again, we're gonna tap that right knee behind our left calf as we bend into that left knee. Kick it back, standing L. And again, knee taps the back of calf. Kick it back. This time, hands come into heart center. Oh yeah, getting up here is like really loading into that left glute. And then we're gonna tap this knee behind this calf, working into the quad and the glute. Kick it back. One more time, knee taps. Good, and then come back. Lower your hands down, standing L. Step your right toes to the back of the mat. Take any vinyasa you want. We'll meet back in down dog. One-legged maybe to balance out the other side. We're not stressing about balance so much. We are finding our equilibrium, and it might not be perfect. Our body's not perfectly symmetrical. If we do something slightly different on one side versus the other, it's okay. We'll walk out of here just normal. Nothing too changed about us. Slowing down the breath, fill up. Big audible sigh. Inhale, sweep your right leg high to the sky, bend your knee, stack your hip. Option to flip over for a while, then completely change up your perspective, grow, and we'll meet back in a three-legged dog. Right knee behind right wrist, half pigeon pose. Left leg straight back. Find your balance here for a moment. Find some buoyancy. Find some strength as you really pull everything in. And then you can start to fold it on down. If that feels all right for you, you can bring in props if you'd like. Sometimes props can be really nice to bring in just an additional element of cushioning. One of my favorite ways to change up a half pigeon pose to make it have a little bit more depth to it, is to open my arms up to a T. You'll notice that suddenly it just feels a lot deeper in this posture. If that doesn't work for your knee, though, please just bring your hands back to normal or whatever feels best for you. Feeling no rush to move. Deep breath in and a big sigh out. When you're ready, pressing back up to the palms. Take your time to tuck your back left toes. Step your right foot back. You might pedal it out. Bend a knee, stack a hip, flow. Take a vinyasa if you want to release it that way. Sometimes that feels nice. Or not. Inhale, sweeping that left leg high. Bend your knee, stack your hip, flip over for that wild thing if you want it. Have some fun with it. We'll meet back in three-legged dog. And then left knee behind left wrist. Half pigeon pose for the other side. Pause. Go slow for a moment. Make sure your right toes are straight back behind you. Make sure that you have some buoyancy. So you have that really active squeezing of your left side and your right side together in the lower half of your body, including your pelvic floor. And then you can start whatever variation you want, with a pillow, without a pillow, with a blanket, without a blanket. The blanket is really nice to tuck underneath your left glute if you have any gap there. You can always flip onto your back and do a figure four stretch if you have any knee pain or to modify as needed. And then again, I'm going to open my arms out to this T because it really helps make the stretch feel a little bit deeper. Couple more rounds of breath. What space can you lean into a little bit more, letting go of resistance? Letting that pita, that movement, that fire that we built up in our heart kind of slow down and reground once again, finding the balance. 2 more rounds of breath here. Last full inhale. Exhale, tuck your right toes, step that left foot back. You might pedal it out. You might bend your knee, stack your hip. You might take a last vinyasa if you want it. And then walk your feet in a little bit shorter, bend the knees all the way down to a tabletop. Let's reach our right arm up towards the sky, thread the needle, right shoulder to the earth, right ear comes to ground. You might take that left hand and wrap it around to open up into that front shoulder if they're sore, or you can just press your palm towards the top of the left side of the mat, really getting into the back of the shoulder, the intercostal muscles. For me, I always notice it's the front line of my shoulder and chest that needs a little bit more stretch. Lower this left palm down, sweep that right arm up, reverse it. Exhale, switch it out. Left arm reaches high. Thread the needle just for a moment or two, right? Right hand can reach towards the top of the mat or wrap around the low back. Your choice. When you're ready, plant that right hand down, sweep that left arm up towards the sky, and then lower it down. Sit over to one side, kick your feet out in front of you. We're gonna go for a seated forward fold once again. I'm gonna do it in a yin style with a pillow and a blanket. You could do it with or without. I recommend you try it with, just like we did at the beginning of our practice, and just really see how adding a little bit more support really can make a difference. Now, you might notice you don't have to fold it up as much as you did before because your hamstrings are a little bit looser. If you still have to add a lot of support, don't stress. It doesn't mean much. And just start to fold it on down. Find that space where you can breathe. I always have to fold up the things that presses under my chin so I can breathe through my nose. Hmm. Let something go. Big breath in, big breath out. Folding a little bit deeper. 2 more rounds of breath here. Last full inhale. On the exhale, gently start to roll up. Take these props if you want it behind your low back for a Shavasana. That's where I'm going to tuck mine for Shavasana. It feels really nice. I also like to roll up the blanket behind the knees. So just roll up your blanket like a burrito and then tuck it behind the bend of your knees. So it creates this nice natural bend. It creates a lot more support for the low back. And then start to settle into your Shavasana, whatever shape that might be, with or without props. Adjust as needed. And then maybe you just let your palms face up, your arms and legs take up some space as your practice comes to stillness. What this practice is really for is this moment right here, this moment to meditate, to connect, to be still, and to really turn inward, soaking up the bliss of our practice that we cultivated, leaving this vessel of our body right here to weigh heavy so that our spirit can travel. Enjoy this rest, yogis. I'll let you know when it's time to reawaken. Yogis, if you're ready to reawaken, begin to do so by deepening the breath. If you'd like to keep resting, simply lock your phone. Maybe set a timer or a gentle alarm to reawaken you so you don't have to think about keeping track of time. But if you're ready to reawaken and you begin to deepen the breath, welcome in some small movements into your toes. Maybe a rub of the pad of your thumb along the pad of each finger. Each fingertip just rubbing together a little bit, creating some sensation that time. But move as slow as you need to. If you're ready to roll off some props and move them off to the side, begin to do so. Rolling over to one side, fetal position. Remember that connection beneath your palm, beneath that side of your body. Mother Earth is always here with her energy to support you. She's got your back. She never leaves. Even if we don't treat her so well, she is always here for us. Keeping the eyes closed as you begin to grow up to a comfortable cross-legged seat, like a seedling growing up towards the sun. Sit up nice and tall, let the crown of your head reach up. Feel the rooting of your sit bones as you grow a little bit deeper roots here, feeling the grounding energy, but then also lean towards that pita, that higher fiery energy as your head grows higher up towards the sky. Palms come to heart center, but let's find a lotus mudra. So we're going to keep the pinky and the thumb sealed together, but we're going to pull apart the other three fingers. So our ring finger, our middle finger, and our pointer finger all pull apart. We're creating this cup shape, like a flower. This beautiful lotus opens up. It's a cup that can overflow with strength, with love, with growth. Imagine from your heart, oh, well, a little spring of water to fill up this cup. This water is full of growth, it's full of strength to conquer fears, to grow in new directions. It's full of love, to remember to be kind and loving to yourself. And when you fall flat on your face, because growing involves falling sometimes, it involves mistakes, it involves sometimes fear grabbing hold of us. But that love can really bring us extra strength and push us through so we can find those new areas, discover new things about ourselves, conquer new tasks. Thank you so much, yogis, for growing, for embracing spring, for meeting the two energies of grounding and fire. I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your spring. But remembering also some non attachment instead of trying to hang on to spring and linger in these cooler days. Try to just enjoy it in the moment without that attachment. From my heart to yours, from the strength and growth in me to you. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for a beautiful practice. My name is Christine. Again, I'm Yogi DLT on Instagram and Apple Music. You can listen to these playlists as you practice. But also, one thing I want to point out, if you're on the Black Swan page, the link is right on this page to donate. But if you're on YouTube, you can just go to either blackswanyoga.com or you can go to our Instagram at Black Swan Yoga Austin, and you can make a donation to the amazing Black Swan Yoga Austin teachers. These teachers really rely on these donations to help pay their bills with studios being closed and us staying home. A lot of these teachers have lost their income completely, and these donations really do help. So any donation really goes a long ways. And even if it seems small, it really does add up for everybody. So we really appreciate your donations if you're able to make them. If not, though, don't stress. We get it. We're all in this together. And I hope you're doing well. Please, please, please take good care of yourself. Grow and nurture yourself. Just like you nurture plants to grow strong and healthy, we have to take care of ourselves. So thank you for taking time to practice. Namaste.